We're live.
Episode 35, Prevelations Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We are Sean and Danny from Prevail Strength and Fitness, Lean Strength Method, Prevail Adventure Club, Prevail Photography Association.
Should we change that name?
It doesn't really matter that
Okay.
much.
Anyways.
Okay.
Let's go. What do we want to talk about
35.
today?
Let's talk about, it's been a minute. I was on a podcast for Jim's.
You're famous.
Barely.
Yes, he was on a podcast.
And then we went to Mexico for,
We were kind of under the weather for a little bit first.
Oh,
so
right.
that kind of, I think that took
Yeah.
us out more than Mexico.
Yeah, and you guys know how that is. Like, one person gets it, and then the next person, and the next thing you know, it's like a month later, and like, oh, finally, we're all healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we want
Yep.
to talk about why 12 weeks
12
is it
weeks.
about a, let's see, how do we say this? 12-week mindsets.
Okay.
Maybe. That's kind of like, or plan your process in a 12-week block. And we'll talk about a few different ways and why we currently do that and why this is a good shift to think about.
Okay.
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 So typically, because we have like the 12-week Lean Strength launching soon,
Next week, yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've been running 12 weeks for a super long time,
Yeah.
right?
Years.
And there's two parts of this from like, there's a little bit of like sales psychology, but there's also the human physiology standpoint and the human headspace of like why like the 12-week is a good blend between long enough and short enough at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, is she rumbling around?
She is.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see how okay. So normally with nutrition things, right? And you just saw that we just did a 28-day,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And then there's like the typical 6-week thing. And there's like a 30-day challenge.
Yeah.
And
30.
like
I feel like 30 days is popular.
30 days is super popular.
Yeah.
But we also know on the flip side of that, it takes years to get to like end goal major changes in strength and body composition and physical ability and endurance, all those things.
Yeah. Yeah. But if we were like, hey, here's a year program,
Yeah.
like it just seems so like,
It's too far away.
it almost seems like unattainable to like focus that long on like the thing.
Yeah. And even though like our most popular membership at the studio was a year, because you
Mhm.
really got to think about like zoom back out to where you are 5 years from now, you're going to have to take multiple 1 years to get there. And so when we think about 12 weeks, we program at the studio in 12-week blocks, which is a very normal 12-week periodization. We take a 4-week, a 4-week, and a 4-week, and you kind of like multiply adaptations on that. So 12 weeks is a really good mindset. It's really important as a 12-week mindset for nutrition, super important. And then when you think about health goals, you think about how many 12-week quarters can I stack. And even on the business side, we also think of like tracking things weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, and start to think about where you are in your phases in a 12-week block as well. Especially when we're talking about this, like you've been doing something consistently for 6 months or exercising consistently for 6 months, you've got to start thinking about, I'm going to put a singular focus for the next 12 weeks so that I can kind of bump past plateaus, which is why the 12-week is so important. Because once you have this 6+ months of experience, your body is so used to new stimulus or adaptations that you can't keep giving it mixed signals over and over and over again, because it's not going to get enough of one stimulus. And I say that from a simple like muscle gain or fat loss. If you're trying to think like, I really want to like lose fat and gain muscle, duh, we all want to do that at all times, right? And if you're a beginner, completely possible. And even if you are not a beginner, it's possible, but the amount of mental energy it takes to dial in that much is so difficult to maintain that you're better off thinking, you know what, for the next 12 weeks, I'm going to focus on muscle gain, or 12 weeks, I'm going to focus on energy for strength gains, or 12 weeks for endurance gains, or 12 weeks for fat loss. And if you think about that from, well, why do we recommend 30 days, or why do we recommend 28-day challenges, or why do we do 6-week things? And those are more from like launch pad headspaces. So a 28-day is really phenomenal from a sense of like, let me get into a process so that I'm starting to understand the habit. But if I'm really thinking about like, I want to see like real changes, you've got to stack multiple 28 days in a row. So for 12 weeks, I want to have, if I have a goal of noticeable change in my body fat percentage or muscle gain, it's going to take 12 weeks just to acquire that much change. Because if you could think 1 to 2% a month, and you think, all right, well, that would be like 6% fat loss in 12 weeks, which would be very typical, very normal. In our headspace of like, I want to see my body change, a 6% change is a dramatic mirror change. 1% is phenomenal and it's really good. But when we look at the mirror, you're like, I don't know if I can really tell a difference. Even though you may have in-body data that's consistent, it's when you get those stacking of multiple 1% that you really start to go, oh, now I can really like definitively see my body moving in a different direction. So the 30 days and 28 days are really good from like, I want to get myself into an action. But 12 weeks is really phenomenal of like, oh, I'm going to get into action and sustain it so that I can see big changes. And the problem we see with people who are thinking nutrition in less than 12 weeks is that they think, all right, 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to try something. I don't really see a lot of progress. And then I'm going to try something else, or I'm going to get mentally burnt out. So I'm going to try something else. And then 12 weeks goes by and you kind of like half-assed your efforts over and over and over and over again. And then you get to 12 weeks, you're like, I really didn't see any progress. So 12 weeks is really great from a, if you think about it, it's going to take 3 weeks of a process for your body to adapt to what that stimulus is. So the first 3 weeks of 12 are just your body waking up that you have a new stimulus.
Yes.
Right. I'm talking about the difference between 28-day and 12-week.
Yeah.
And why the physiology, you need multiple bouts of 28 days to
Yeah.
actually see change.
Yeah.
Because almost everybody with nutrition changes, and even we'll talk about strength gains, is you need the first 3 weeks to set a baseline.
Yeah.
First 3 weeks are just your body going, oh, I now have a thing going on. What is this that you're giving me the stimulus from?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then at the end of that next 3 weeks, you have your next, we do this at the studio with volumes.
Yeah.
The next 3 weeks is your body going, oh, you're going to continue to give me this stimulus.
Mm-hmm.
And now I want to apply a change to that stimulus. So your physiology is going, okay, I get it. You've told me for 3 weeks that you're at a maintenance or above calories, you're eating enough protein, enough carbs,
Mm-hmm.
you're working out 4 days a week. I'm going to start taking that and I'm going to start changing my tissue.
Yeah.
And most people just quit at 21 days and then they don't get into anything else after that.
Yeah.
And that's really the magic. Even every time you started like a hard, diligent diet phase, muscle, like fat loss phase.
It takes me 3 weeks to see
Anything.
any change on the scale.
Anything.
Or really anything in the mirror either. It takes me 3 weeks to like feel something.
Right.
And I was talking to Whitney about this a week ago, which we need to have her on the podcast again.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
in her phase of life right now, it took her 4 weeks
Before the body moved
to
at
see
all.
anything. Yeah.
So
And I'm
data
sure.
was all the same for 4 weeks in a
Yeah.
row.
And I'm sure with Tori,
Yeah.
with her muscle building phase,
Yeah.
which we just did like a highlight on her on the social page.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure it took her at least a month to see half a pound to a pound
Yeah.
increase, which I mean, that's a long time to be like consistent with something
And not see.
and not see anything.
Yeah.
But I try to tell everybody that up front so that they have those expectations
Yeah.
because it's worth it if you just
Yeah.
stick with it. And also if you're a female, like you
Right,
make a
you're gonna have to-
change,
right.
you're going to have your cycle at some point in the first 28 days, and that's going to throw off.
Right. The consistency
The
of
consistency
like,
of,
what is
like-
this recipe really doing?
Yeah.
You kind of want
Anyways.
to think about that as like, if you think about a big, heavy like train,
Mm-hmm.
right? As it gets going out of the station, it gets slower and it's slow and
Yeah.
it's slow and it's slow, and then it picks up momentum.
Yeah.
And then it gets going, and it's got a lot of momentum and a lot of weight and a lot of energy behind it. So if we think, oh man, this first like block of getting out of this train station is so hard, and then you stop the train, it takes the same massive amount of mental energy to get the train going.
Yeah.
And then from the human physiology side, it's the same thing, is that your physiology is going, oh, okay, I think you're trying to give me some stimulus to change from. And then we quit, and then we have to do that all over again.
Yeah.
Which is why 12 weeks of whatever process you're in,
Mm-hmm.
if you take the lean strength, right, 12 weeks of accountability to something is like,
Mm-hmm.
let me get over that 2 to 3 week hump of like, oh my goodness, this is hard. This is new.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having to change these things in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Data's
Yeah.
not really changing.
Yeah.
Oh, now let me get into the second 3 weeks, which now we get into the 6 week.
Yeah.
So this is why 6 weeks were so popular for 6 week challenges,
Yeah.
because you have first 3 weeks of adaptation, of baseline of stimulus, and then the next 3 your body would go, oh, okay, I've got some traction, I'm going to change.
Yeah.
Problem with most 6 week challenges is that you spend 6 weeks doing 100% effort.
Yeah. And then you
And then you
go 0% because you're
and then
so
you,
burnt
And
out.
then you fall off. And really, you want to go like the first 6 weeks at like 85-90%.
Yeah. Yeah.
To like get some momentum going.
Yeah.
And then what you want to do is you want to have accountability system and structure
Mm-hmm.
to follow through with the next 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say like an asterisk to this. It's like the first 6 weeks. Yeah. You're at like 85%, but that might feel like 100%
Oh yeah.
to you putting in like the consistency of doing things. It's not like 100% like you're perfect eating this like
Yeah.
clean diet
Right.
or whatever,
Right.
but
Right.
it'll,
Because the change is going to feel like
yeah.
that first 3 weeks is the hardest 3 weeks because it's the most amount of work and the least amount of progress.
Yeah.
But the
It's like you're working in silence. Just like
Mhm.
note that you're
Mhm.
like working in silence for 3 weeks,
Mhm.
basically.
and think about like I'm building the energy to like sustain the like the movement of this gigantic train.
Yeah,
of
'cause
stuff.
Yeah, because especially if you stay with it 3 weeks, 6 weeks, you'll really be seeing something by 9 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You'll be like really seeing and feeling the results,
Right.
whether that be muscle strength or
Mm-hmm.
fat loss.
Yeah, and even in a from the strength and conditioning world, the shortest program you would ever see in a strength program is 7 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So no one programs shorter than 8 weeks for adaptations in strength or conditioning because they know like the first 3 weeks you're just setting a baseline of information to adapt from. So it's kind of wild to think like
Yeah.
a fat loss approach should be 3 weeks when
I know.
you wouldn't see any strength gains in 3 weeks. You wouldn't see any muscle gains. You wouldn't see any conditioning. If you're trying to run a 5K or 10K, you can't run for 3 weeks and then see progress.
Yeah.
You're going to need at least 8 weeks of time, right?
It's
But 12 weeks is a really good
12 weeks
window
is good. Yeah.
to like, okay, I want to see some like actual change.
Yeah.
If you were to build a marathon program, you would give yourself at least 12 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the same thing for a muscle gain or for fat loss, I'm going to give myself at least 12 weeks.
Yeah.
The program at the studio, we build in 12 weeks. We
Yep.
reassess every 13th week
Yep.
because that 12 weeks is so much. There's so much power in that. And you see some people that like 10, 11, 12 weeks, we start to get bored.
Yeah, we hear some grumblings.
And you're like, oh, this again.
Mhm.
But that's where the magic is
Yeah.
in adaptation to your body.
Yeah, for sure.
Because your body is just now going,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I really understand what you're giving me in stimulus,
Yeah.
even though your brain, because we're a little ADD about like,
Yeah.
as a society of being entertained. And Strong First was always really funny about like,
Do the same
Uh,
things.
do you want to get stronger or do you want to be entertained?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which they are kind of like.
They're pretty like strict.
I
and
mean,
stuff.
it's like the same workout for like 12 Mondays in a row, which is way different than, our process. Do you want to say something, AJ?
If you're watching,
Mhm.
this is a mess.
What do you want to say? You want to say hi? Huh? Hi? Hi? She's
Oh,
like,
nice. I got.
I'm only going to give
slobber.
you one hi every.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure
Um,
she said hi to someone on the plane.
We both heard it. She said it.
You might not have meant to. Oh, see? There you go. Yeah, hi.
So back to the 12 weeks a little bit. 12 weeks is a great headspace to commit to something. And then I also think you have to have in your mind that it is probably going to take multiple 12-week cycles. Just like if you come into the studio and you want to get a pull-up and we do a program that's like heavy on pull-up progressions, that's great.
Yeah.
You might not get that pull-up that first 12 weeks.
Right.
It might take multiple. And just like your fat loss goal, like I think there's some myths out there that's like you should only diet for 12 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So the 12-week thing about dieting for 12 weeks, if you see some sort of Instagram-y thing about that, is there's a difference between the human, like, cells adapting and there's the human mind adapting.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Yeah.
They're not the same. So someone could have a mental exhaustion at 12 weeks from a process.
Yeah.
But it does not mean their body is actually physically tired of the process.
Right.
And even if you look deep into like bodybuilding competitors getting on a stage at super unhealthy numbers, they're saying 12 to 16 weeks of like 7 days a week of a severe calorie deficit for like 4 to 5 months in a row.
Yeah.
Then they're saying you need a diet break because your body is literally not going to adapt anymore.
Yeah. But they're at like a hormone level of it is.
Yeah, your body's physically going, I'm not going to adapt to this anymore.
Yeah, it's not great because their body fat percentage has to be so low.
Right. And let's see, this is 2026.
It is.
Coming up on, let's see, my first job as a personal trainer was in 2010. So 16 years of that.
16 years.
How many people have I seen in 16 years that have applied 110% effort into their nutrition for more than...
I'm assuming you're going to say 0.
0 people, right? 0 people that I've ever worked with have ever done that.
Yeah.
So, but we've seen people who've lost weight month after month after month after month, or they've like month 1, month 2, not month 3, month 4, month 5, not month 6. And over a year, 2 years in a row, they have been dieting. They've been paying attention to the process, and they have lost weight year after year after year after year.
Yeah.
But that's not, when you see some Instagram-y thing, it's like, you can't diet for more than 12 weeks.
I mean, I think they're just saying that to catch
What they're
attention.
saying is you can't diet at 110% effort for 12 to 16 weeks.
Yeah.
But if you apply 90% change, not effort, it's 100% effort always, right? If you play 90% change, you can apply 90% change for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 18 months in a row.
Yeah.
And your body's going to be fine.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people say that, and then like the hormone thing, but I went on a fat loss phase for like 7 months right before we got pregnant with her.
Yeah.
7 months in a fat loss phase.
Yeah. And
I mean, you just have to watch.
Right.
Just like anything else.
And you weren't pushing...
I wasn't pushing a performance. Well,
I mean, you kind of were performance, but I'm
we
saying
did do the canyon, but
you weren't pushing a dramatic like 30 or 40% calorie reduction the entire time.
No, not the entire. No.
Right.
Yeah, we had like random pushes because we were testing things.
Right, and you also had fairly intentional like maintenance blocks along the way.
Yes.
You know, that were like they were barely a calorie deficit where you're just holding.
Yeah.
Inside of that huge block, and then you kind of like dip back down into intensity.
Yeah. I mean, and well, this is where coaching comes into play. But we had a lot of refeed days and things like that, which is nice.
Yeah, because refeed days are going to be a sense of like, I can gain some momentum to get back into the week with your metabolism, and which is complex. And
a good mental break.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's circle back around to 12 weeks. The other part about 12 weeks. Nope. She said, I'm just going to eat that.
Say hi. Hi.
No, just on a scratchy scratch. 12 weeks from a one part when we were talking about with all those other gym owners this last week is leads and trials and getting people to into your brand. And we do a Bring a Friend week, which we think is a great stepping stone into it. And I was we've been like looking for some sort of like local influencer to give like a really honest opinion review of who we are. And I'm like, what would be the least amount of time for someone to really grasp a gym and its process and its like feeling, right? I'm like, for us, for sure, not being an entertainment based type of studio, like you'd really want someone to spend at least 7 to 8 weeks, if not a full quarter, strength week to strength week, to go, oh, I really understand what this is, why it's what everything matters from a long-term sense. And which is why also we have a 3-month option at the studio, because that's the shortest amount of time that someone can see a dramatic change in their strength, body composition, and posture, and mobility, and energy, compared to like, well, I'm going to come try it out for one session is definitely not it. 1 week is barely it. And 6 weeks would be at the very minimum of the amount of time that someone could like. And I really think even with our Fit in 42, most people get into that 6 weeks and they're like, I think I kind of get it. But 12 weeks, you're like, okay, yep, totally understand what this is, what's going on here, why all this stuff matters. So 12 weeks is really good from a trial headspace too.
Yes.
She's fine.
So she hasn't been on the podcast since she was like 2 weeks old. So we're gonna have to do a side by side because I might cry at how big she is.
She really likes to hold stuff and then drop stuff. We're at a new stage of like, this is a fun game. Okay. What else is good for 12 weeks? Strength, conditioning.
Strength for sure. Conditioning for sure. Well, yeah. I mean, you already mentioned like a half marathon or a marathon plan is like roughly 8 to 12 weeks or however long, like wherever you're starting at, you know, but 12 weeks. So endurance,
prepping for the canyon, that's definitely like
12, 15 weeks.
And it's kind of funny too, because most people would be like, oh, I would need months to get ready for the canyon. And you're like, well, maybe. But when you talk about nutrition, they're like, oh, it's going to take months. It's the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's going to take time and energy and consistent input for your body to go, oh, I understand what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, not to bring this up again, but my best headspace was when I went into a build for 5 months and then fat loss phase for 7, which is a full year. And I had to tell myself, like, this is going to be a full year process. Yeah. And now I'm kind of in that headspace postpartum now.
Yeah. And if you've been in the gym, if you're in the gym consistently, when we say consistently, I mean 2 to 4 times a week for 6, 8, to a year, and especially if you've been in the gym for like 2 to 3 years, you cannot think, well, I'm just going to try to do some fat loss or some muscle gain.
Right.
You can't.
No.
You're going to have to go, nope, I'm going to take at least 12 weeks of consistent process to get there. And honestly, you should take longer than that. If you want to see actual real change, you need to like 1 year from now, you're like, I want to like dramatically see a difference in who I am. You should probably spend 6 months of the year in an intentional fat loss and an intentional muscle gain.
Yeah.
And that does not mean like I'm going to overeat and gain fat or I'm going to undereat and lose muscle.
Right.
It just means that you're toggling between the intention of like, because if someone is gaining muscle, the number one goal is to try to maintain your body fat percentage.
Yes, which is hard.
Which is the bet. That's the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the flip side, if you're trying to lose fat, the goal is to maintain muscle.
Yeah.
So you want to be toggling between one and then the other, one and then the other. If you're losing so much weight that you're losing muscle, it's too aggressive.
Too aggressive.
Right. If you're gaining muscle and you're gaining fat,
you're gaining more fat than you're gaining muscle. It's definitely too much.
It's too aggressive on the food side.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you're going into a process, just putting in your mind it's going to take at least 12 weeks and it might take more than 12 weeks, you'll actually enjoy the process way more because your expectations will be in line with what can actually happen.
Right. And you're setting yourself, it's like saying, I want to have I want to have a marathon distance accomplishment, right? I want the medal that says I ran 26 miles. And then you start
Yes.
and you get 5K in and you're like, well,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Right? And that's the kind of headspace you're in. It's
Yes.
like, I want 5K effort into marathon results.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not,
Yeah.
it's not a right expectation. And it just sucks because I think everyone wants progress faster
Yeah, me all the time.
all the time. But the human body does not work that way.
No.
You've been programmed with marketing and before and afters and all of these claims
Mm-hmm.
that it's way faster, and
Mhm.
that's just not the way
Mhm.
the body responds.
Yeah. And like there's a ton of before and afters. Like, I mean, we just ran a 28-day and I need to give these people a shout out because they were so consistent for 28 days and they made so much progress.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, are they at their end goal? No.
Right.
But they made so much progress in those 28 days. So
Right.
like, yeah, you can make a ton of progress in
Mm-hmm.
a month.
And then that ton of progress in a month is possible. And then what the hard part is now is like, well, what's the habits you go back to? Right? Because you can crank for 28 days and be like, oh,
Yeah.
I lost 8 pounds of fat.
Yeah.
And if you go right back to your process before,
You're like, I'm going to gain 12 or
And you'll-
8 pounds.
you'll gain 8 pounds right back, which is different than saying, I'm going to take 28 days to lose 8 pounds. I'm going to pull back the throttle.
Uh-huh.
Now my goal is I'm going to hold this change for the next 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Or the next 4 weeks, I'm just going to hold maintenance.
Yeah.
And then you go into another 4 weeks of what? You could go back to it again. You go
Yeah.
back to your next 28 days. And
Yeah.
what is that? 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
4 on, 4 maintenance, 4 back on. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she
said, all right, wrap it up.
Fine. She just wants to hold stuff.
Mike.
You want the mic? You want to talk, ma'am? She's like, no, I want to
Hi.
eat this fuzzy thing at the end of this
Hi.
microphone. Give me this fuzzy thing.
Hi. There you go. Good job.
You tell him. Okay.
Okay.
27 minutes. We can get this done, and we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay. We have 2 minutes.
That'll be fun.
So, if you are a Prevail student and you're thinking about your process, right?
Yes.
Think in 12-week blocks. Think of, I'm going to apply pull-up progressions. I'm going to practice pull-ups 2 times a week for
Mhm.
12 weeks.
Mhm.
I want to gain muscle. I'm going to eat enough protein, overeat carbohydrates, pull back fat,
Mhm.
be at maintenance or 10 to 20% surplus for 12 weeks, week in, week out.
Yeah.
The other side, fat losses is the opposite direction.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Conditioning.
Mhm.
I'm going to run 2 days a week for the next 12 weeks to get better at conditioning
Mhm.
and then reset and go again.
Yeah.
Right? If you are a non-Prevail student and watching this and you're thinking about joining a gym or any system or on the online program,
Mhm.
think it's not I'm going to give this a day or I'm going to give this a week or I'm going to give this a month. Like
Mhm.
I'm going to give this 12 weeks and I'm going to be consistently involved, not 6 days a week of it, but I'm going to
Right.
be consistently there for 12 weeks
Yeah.
and then I'm going to make a decision about whether or not this is a good fit. And if you think, well, that's just so long, well, where were you 9 months ago? How many 12 weeks could you have done to really learn?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then your Lean Strength program is launching
March 2nd. Monday, March
2nd for 12 weeks right until the beginning of summer.
Yeah.
Okay, you can join that 3 ways.
Yep.
If you're a Prevail student, you can bolt on the nutrition side
Yes.
and habits.
Uh-huh.
Okay. If you are local, you can join the studio
Mhm.
and bolt it on for
Yes.
12 weeks.
Yes.
Or if you're not local, you can bolt on the nutrition and then get the exercises delivered in an app for the next 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's 3 ways you
100%
can
online.
join the 12 week. In order, what do they need to do to join that 12 week?
Send me a message
Send you a message where?
on Instagram
At
or
Instagram at Danny _
Danny.
Prevail.
Yep. Danny _ Prevail or Danny at PrevailStrengthAndFitness.com.
There you go.
Yeah.
Email at DMMS and that you can sign up now.
Sign up now. Yeah. Doors close Friday the 28th.
There we go.
Whoop whoop.
Okay.
Okay. Say bye. Yeah.
Yeah. Say bye.
Say hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Do you need some tickles? Where's the tickles?
She has silent giggles. There it is. Okay.
Bye.